but I don't think much public. Not much.
But not many foundations or institutions which give fellowships and things like that? No,
I don't think so.
Oh,
Maybe
a few.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
Not many, okay. Yeah, but it's good to hear that there are magazines which pay. There are not many in India which pay. There are several magazines which won't pay writers. Yeah, so that is good. And the other question he asked was about translation. Do you get to read a lot of Indian literature in translation in Japan? And if so, you can name a writer you have read.
I read some Indian literature, but...
in Japanese translation, no?
In Japanese translation, right. I read some Indian literature, but I think maybe not enough, I guess.
Not enough, yeah. And so what can be done so that there's more translation between these two cultures, like Japanese work getting translated into English and other Indian languages and vice versa, like Indian works getting translated into Japan. Is there any movement, are there groups pursuing this kind of, translation between the two cultures? Is the government doing anything about it? Are you aware?
No.
Yeah, because that's very necessary, no? Yeah. We get to read a lot of Japanese authors nowadays, like, of course, you have the Murakamis, and then you have the Netflix series, Midnight Diner, and Till the Coffee Gets Cold, and all those books, but not enough. And I don't think Japanese works are getting translated into Indian languages, into the big and small Indian languages. So that is something, that's a very good question actually. Yeah. I don't know. Both the government and private institutions have to come forward and publishers to support these. Many foreign governments have funding for translation, so that should happen. Any other questions anyone wants to ask me?
Myself, Tongrom Amarjit, and I'm representing Manipuri language, and I'm from Imphal. I'm really interested in the topic that you were talking about, all this lake in Japan, and how the fishing community, they are losing its ground while they are fishing. The same thing is happening right now in Manipur also, because we have this Loktak Lake, one of the largest freshwater lake in the entire Northeast. But the same thing is happening in Loktak also. The indigenous variety of fishes are now very hard to find, and rivers, mainly the wetlands. I just want to say this because tomorrow is World Wetland Day. We are just coincidence of this program, and we are talking about environmental impact, the climate change impact, how we are. Being a writer, I just want to ask is that being a writer, how you are going to tackle such kind of issue, I mean the environmental threats we are facing right now. Because the Brahmaputra River, Ganga, even this Barak River, all these wetlands, rivers, they are facing the same fate across the world. So being a writer, being a poet, I do sometimes write in this about this environmental degradation that we are facing. So being a writer in Japan, what you want to do in future, being a fiction writer, being a poet, that's what I want to know from you. Thank you.
Yeah, so the question he's asking how writers can get involved with environmental activism through their writing or otherwise. Are you trying to do that, raising awareness about environment and other issues, pollution, through your writing? Do you have plans to write more about these things?
It's a difficult question. Maybe you are...
It's a difficult, yeah. I always...
Because you are think about...
Yeah, everyone asks me this question, but this is for you. You already said that you have dealt with environment issues in that story about the lake. Are you planning to do more of that? Yeah. Do you want to incorporate...
We are also responsible, being a writer, to give awareness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, is it?
Can use wisely for sustainable
Is it part of your plan? That's what he's asking. Do you want to write more eco-fiction, environmental fiction? Do you want to deal with more environment issues in your writing? Do you plan to do that? That's what.
How can I say?
Have you thought about it, to write more about environment, to write more about nature, pollution, climate change?
I guess yes, but I think you have a sincere feeling about this. So that's why you are writing. So now I cannot say I will write because I think you have to write from
What you feel.
what you feel and what you feel
Yeah.
seriously. So I cannot make a pause. I cannot pretend.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless you feel you cannot write, but just as you're talking about Loktak Lake, you have already written about this lake where you live on the island.
Yeah.
So if you again get very involved with an issue like that, then you will be writing. That's what, It's very true and an honest answer. Thank you.
Okay.
So, hi, Miwa. We've just met. I took a photo with you. Nice to meet you. Here, Professor Stream Nedkar, representing Khasi language from Meghalaya. So, since you have written a number of tanka also, I'm always interested in poetic poem. And I have one book with me, this is the first book in Khasi. It's tanka. It's written in a tanka form, a classical form of Japanese. And this is the challenges of time. I just know a little about tanka from, from the sources that I had got to read. But meeting you face to face, it will be, very much meaningful if you could highlight a little more about the 31 onjis of the Japanese style in writing tanka 5-7-7-5-7, isn't it? So do you believe that this classical form of Japanese poetry is always, has to always be feminine in nature? That is my first question.
Sorry, what did you say?
Like, this type of, the form of tanka, is it important that it has to be a feminine, has got the feminine type of, expressing in this form of poetry? Or is it something else?
The last part of your question, is it feminine, you said?
No. What I want to say here, to ask here, whether this type of poetry is always regards to feminism or not.
Well, yeah. Well, she's asking whether tanka at this moment, the tanka that is being written now, whether it handles feminist issues more, or it's written or not, whether it involves general issues also.
I don't think so. You mean tanka is more feminine?
That's what.
No, I don't think so.
Not always, I believe. It's not always, because I've seen other writers also, they write poems on this. So some of the critics, they said that, it always relates with the theme of love. But can we have other themes more than love?
Yeah, she's saying that tanka often deals with love, but are there tankas written about other themes? Of course, I think.
Ancient time, yes, this is like love letter.
Yeah.
People communicate with tanka.
Yeah.
This is like love letter, and this is like ritual, start to love. But now, so young people express their anything, everything.
Anything.
Mm,
Yes. Why
everything.
I'm asking that, because I thought I have changed the trend of what the classical writings or in the Japanese form of poetry, the tanka, because in my collection of tanka poems, I do write about women, I do write about the race, I do write about politics, I write everything.
Yes,
But
yes.
in
That's
those,
right.
in those 31 onjis. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Any other questions for Miwa? Oh, there's a question here.
I have a small question. I'm Bente from Denmark, Danish Cultural Institute. It's a pleasure being here with you, Miwa. Great pleasure, new friend. Do you know who your readers are? Do you know your readers? Who are your readers? Are they old? Are they young? Do you have any relationship with your readers? That's my question.
Thank you. I don't think which generation, which gender or something, but I found different people read my book, and sometimes I received a letter like thank you for I read your book by chance and I felt I was saved or something. Many of them are women. This is my impression.
Yeah, that's very much possible. Well, actually, I think there are two kinds of writers. There are writers who research their audience very well and then just focus their story on them. And then there are writers who kind of write for a general audience and then get the feedback from all quarters. So anyone else? We have a bit of time, maybe 3-4 minutes. So if anyone, yeah.
Why it is necessary to adapt technique in the poem? Why can't we write free verses the way you are writing in a particular format, tanka or haiku or sonnets? Why can't we liberate it from the clutches of the meter system and the clutches of technicality to make it for a common man?
Yeah, he's asking why you're not writing free verse, like why follow a structure, a rhythm, or like 5/7, 5/7, or whatever it is. Why you stick to that? Why you are writing tanka? That's the basic question. Why don't you write free verse?
Because this is something feel comfortable for Japanese, the rhythm. Ta 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 ta. It's kind of like this. This is kind of very how can I say? It sounds rhythm and
yeah,
sound are very comfortable for Japanese speaker. But also, if you have format, so this is it. You don't feel free, but actually you try to create something in the box, so you can create much
More energy.
than before. How can I say? I don't know.
I get you. Yeah.
Maybe you know. Poem is the same. Yes, maybe. Sometimes you have a rule. Sometimes you have regulation. This is make you feel a bit like this. But actually, after you can create something big. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And these old forms have, they have gotten into our collective unconscious or whatever you call it. So more people easily connect with these old forms, whether it's a sonnet or a tanka. But then again, free verse and all that is also very important. So yeah, I think what you're saying is right. Any other questions? Anyone else? Otherwise, yeah. There's a question there? Yeah.
Thank you so much. First of all, Ohayo Miwa.
Ohayo.
Arigato gozaimasu for being with us. It's just a curiosity, not a question. Where did you get the inspiration from, and what did you wanted to suggest to the young people listening to you right now? Thank you.
I didn't get you. Can you?
सर आप इनके लिए अनुवाद कर दीजिएगा. आपको लिखने की प्रेरणा कहाँ से मिली और जो युवाएं सुन रही हैं आपको, आप इनके लिए क्या सलाह देना चाहेंगे?
She's asking about her inspiration, no? That's what, yeah. What is your what has inspired you to write? Like you talked about your father, and then what else?
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like a fresh feeling to meet new people, meet new culture, and meet new word. So I want to write something about this.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
fair
same-
enough. Yeah,
same
new
here.
cultures inspire you, of course, and of course, lack of justice also, because it seems you are writing about women in poverty. So, lack of justice must be inspiring you to write. So that is also another of your themes, and you are very inspired by new cultures. That's why you have written so many short stories set in different countries, from Laos to France. Yeah, totally global kind of story writing. Yeah, and if there are no more questions, we'll kind of, anyone else wants to ask a question? Otherwise, no, it seems, yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Miwa, for doing this, and thank you, Kokrajhar Lit Fest, for inviting both of us. We really enjoyed it, and good luck with your new book. And do get it translated, do find translators. There are translators now everywhere. Translation is getting big, and we should all talk with our government so that, intercultural translation increases between India and Japan. India has so many languages. There are books getting translated into English, but very few people in India read English. We need translations directly into Bengali or Marathi or Tamil and other languages. So yeah, that should happen. So thank you all. It's a pleasure talking with you, Miwa.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
May I
Gozaima.
thank you very much to Ms. Mewa Saguraki and Raja Chaudhary sir, and the dynamic audience for giving us a beautiful session of interactions, which will go down into the history of the development of literatures in Bodoland. But before you exit, I would like to have a very small request. One of the faculty co-colleague wants to open a book through your noble hand, so I would request Sakravati madam to come forward and just open her book. The name of the book is Upanyaskar Vinod Kumar Shukla, authored by Dr. Kasturi Chakravarti, Kokrajhar Government College. Publisher Anand Prakashan, Kolkata. So thank you very much. Once again, a great round of applause to the scholars presenting and enlightening the moment today. Thank you.